Welcome to Chapter-Wise Notes YouTube channel. Today, we will learn chapter summary, detailed notes and most important questions and answers. Class 12th History. Chapter 1, Bricks, Beads and Bones. The Harappan Civilization. Summary. The Harappan Civilization, also known as the Indus Valley Civilization, is one of the oldest and most advanced early urban cultures. It thrived around the Indus and its surroundings, known for its sophisticated city planning, architecture, and societal structures. The civilization existed from around 6000 BCE to 1300 BCE and is categorized into three phases: Early Harappan, Mature Harappan, and Late Harappan. Timeline: 6000 BCE, 2600 BCE, Early Harappan, formative phase. 2600 BCE, 1900 BCE, Mature Harappan, urban phase. 1900 BCE, 1300 BCE, Late Harappan, decadent phase. Detailed notes. 1. Beginnings. Discovery. The Harappan civilization was first identified at the site of Harappa in present-day Pakistan by archaeologists in the early 20th century. Early phase. The early Harappan phase, 6000 BCE, 2600 BCE, is characterized by the gradual development of small agricultural villages into urban centers. Settlements. Early settlements such as Mehergarh show evidence of farming and pastoralism. Agricultural practices, cultivation of wheat and barley, and domestication of animals like sheep, goats, and cattle. Tools and pottery, development of handmade pottery and stone tools. Trade, early trade networks established, with evidence of exchange of goods like shells and precious stones. Archaeological evidence, houses, pottery, tools and ornaments found at various sites provide insights into the early stages of urban development. 2. Subsistence strategies. Agriculture. The primary occupation of Harappans was farming. They cultivated a variety of crops including wheat, barley, peas, sesame, and mustard. Irrigation techniques. The use of wells and canals for irrigation indicates advanced agricultural practices. Seasons. They adapted to the seasonal cycle with sowing and harvesting timed with monsoon rains. Domestication of animals. Cattle, used for plowing fields and as a source of milk and meat. Sheep and goats, provided wool, meat, and milk. Buffaloes, used for agricultural purposes. Poultry, evidence of domesticated chickens in the region. Hunting and fishing, supplementary sources of food, use of traps, nets, and harpoons indicate fishing activities. Storage, granaries and storage pits were used to store surplus produce. 3. Mohenjo-daro. Urban planning. Mohenjo-daro is a prime example of Harappan urban planning. Grid layout. The city was laid out in a grid pattern, with streets intersecting at right angles. Drainage system. Advanced drainage system with covered drains running along the streets. Public baths. Presence of public baths like the Great Bath suggests ritualistic or social functions. Wells. Numerous wells for water supply within households and public areas. Architecture. Residential buildings, houses made of baked bricks, often multi-roomed with courtyards. Public buildings, structures like the Great Granary, possibly used for storing grains. Fortifications. Some areas were fortified, indicating concerns for security or administrative control. Artifacts and inscriptions. Seals and tablets, made of steatite, often depicting animals and script. Beads and ornaments, made from materials like carnelian, agate, and shell. Tools and weapons, copper and bronze tools, indicating metallurgical skills. 4. Crafts and industries. Pottery. Harappan pottery is distinguished by its red color and black designs. Types: plain pottery for everyday use and painted pottery for special occasion. Techniques: use of potter's wheel for making symmetrical vessels. Bead making. Materials: beads made from carnelian, agate, shell, and terracotta. Techniques: evidence of drilling and polishing techniques. Workshops: specialized workshops found at sites like Chanhudaro. Metallurgy. Copper and bronze tools, indicating knowledge of alloying and metalworking. Artifacts, weapons, tools, and ornaments made of copper and bronze. Textile production. Cotton weaving, evidence of cotton fabrics, indicating textile production. Spinning and weaving tools, spindles and loom weights found at excavation sites. 5. Trade and commerce. Trade networks. The Harappans had extensive trade networks within the Indian subcontinent and with other civilizations. Exports: cotton, beads, pottery, and metal goods. Imports: precious stones, metals, and other luxury goods. Transportation. Bullock carts, used for transporting goods overland. Boats, evidence of river and sea trade, with docks found at Lothal. Weights and measures. Standardization, use of standardized weights and measures for trade. Accuracy, cubical weights made of chart, indicating precise measurement systems. 6. Social and political organization. Urban centers, cities like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, and Dholavira were major urban centers. City planning, centralized planning suggests a strong administrative control. Public buildings, presence of granaries, baths, and assembly halls. Administration. Centralized control, evidence suggests centralized administration, possibly by a ruling elite. Administrative records, seals and tablets might have been used for administrative purposes. Social structure. Housing variations, different sizes and types of houses indicate social stratification. Burial practices, variations in grave goods and burial styles suggest social hierarchy. 7. Decline. Theories. Several theories explain the decline of the Harappan civilization. Climatic changes, possible changes in climate, leading to reduced agricultural productivity. River course shifts. Shifts in the courses of rivers like the Ghaggar-Hakra might have affected water supply. Invasions. Some theories suggest invasions by nomadic tribes like the Aryans. Internal decline, gradual decline due to internal factors like overexploitation of resources. Late Harappan phase. Urban decay, reduction in urban features and craftsmanship. Cultural continuity, some elements of Harappan culture continued in later cultures. 8. Discoveries and interpretations. Major archaeological sites. Harappa, one of the first sites to be discovered. Mohenjo-daro, known for its advanced urban planning and architecture. Lothal, known for its dockyard and bead-making industry. Dholavira, notable for its unique water conservation system. Artifacts. Seals, used for trade and possibly for administrative purposes. Pottery, distinctive red and black pottery. Tools and ornaments made of copper, bronze, and other materials. Script. The Harappan script remains undeciphered, posing challenges for historians. Pictographic nature. The script is pictographic, with symbols representing objects or concepts. Challenges. Lack of bilingual inscriptions and short length of texts make decipherment difficult. Short notes on facts. Harappan seal, made of steatite, often depicts animals and undeciphered script. Great Bath, a large public bath in Mohenjo-daro, indicating ritualistic significance. Bead making, advanced craftsmanship in creating beads from various materials. Trade networks, extensive trade evidenced by Harappan seals found in Mesopotamia. Urban planning, sophisticated city layouts with grid pattern streets and drainage systems. One-liners. The Harappan civilization is one of the world's earliest urban cultures, flourishing around the Indus River basin. Harappan seals made of steatite are notable for their animal motifs and undeciphered script. The mature Harappan phase is known for its advanced urban planning and architecture. Harappan artifacts have been found across South Asia, indicating extensive trade networks. The decline of the Harappan civilization started around 1900 BC. CBSE exam pattern questions. Define the term Indus Valley Civilization. The Indus Valley Civilization, also known as the Harappan Civilization, was an ancient urban culture that flourished around the Indus River basin from approximately 6000 BCE to 1300 BCE. Discuss the urban planning and architecture of the mature Harappan phase. The mature Harappan phase is characterized by advanced urban planning with grid pattern streets, sophisticated drainage systems, and well-constructed residential and public buildings made of baked bricks. List and describe the various types of Harappan artifacts found. Harappan artifacts include seals, pottery, tools, and ornaments. Seals are often made of steatite and depict animals and script. Pottery is typically red with black designs. Tools and ornaments are made from materials like copper, bronze, carnelian, and agate. Explain the significance of the geographical spread of Harappan sites. The geographical spread of Harappan sites across South Asia indicates the extent of their trade networks and the widespread influence of their culture. Sites like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Lothal, and Dholavira highlight the diversity and complexity of their civilization. Why is the Harappan script still undeciphered, and what challenges does this present to historians? The Harappan script remains undeciphered due to the lack of bilingual inscriptions, the short length of the texts, and the pictographic nature of the script. This poses challenges for historians in understanding the language, administration, and culture of the Harappans. Important questions and answers. 1. What are the three phases of the Harappan civilization? The Harappan civilization is divided into three main phases. Early Harappan phase, 6000 BCE, 2600 BCE. This phase marks the beginning of urbanization in the region. Small agricultural villages developed, and people began to settle in one place. Early farming communities grew crops like wheat and barley and domesticated animals. Mature Harappan phase, 2600 BCE, 1900 BCE. This is the peak period of the Harappan civilization. Cities like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, and Dholavira were established with advanced urban planning. There were well-planned streets, drainage systems, and impressive buildings. Late Harappan phase, 1900 BCE, 1300 BCE. This phase marks the decline of the civilization. Urban features began to disappear and cities started to decay. There was a gradual shift back to rural life, and the distinctive Harappan culture faded. 2. Describe the key features of the mature Harappan phase. The mature Harappan phase is known for its remarkable urban development and organization. Here are the key features. Urban planning. Cities were laid out in a grid pattern with streets running at right angles. Drainage system. Advanced drainage system with covered drains running along the streets. Architecture, buildings were made of uniform baked bricks. There were multi-roomed houses, public baths, and granaries. The Great Bath, a large public bath in Mohenjo-daro, possibly used for ritual bathing. Wells, numerous wells provided water to households and public areas. Seals and script, seals made of steatite often depicted animals and an undeciphered script. Bead making, Harappans were skilled in making beads from materials like carnelian, agate, and shell. Standardized weights, use of standardized weights and measures in trade. 3. What types of artifacts are commonly associated with the Harappan civilization? Artifacts from the Harappan civilization provide valuable insights into their daily life, trade, and culture. Common artifacts include seals made of steatite, often depicting animals like bulls, elephants, and tigers, along with the undeciphered Harappan script. Pottery, typically red with black designs, used for various purposes. Tools and weapons made of copper and bronze, including knives, axes, and chisels. Beads and ornaments, crafted from materials like carnelian, agate, and shell, showcasing their advanced craftsmanship. Figurines, terracotta and stone figurines representing animals and human forms. Jewelry made from gold, silver, and semi-precious stones, indicating their wealth and trade connections. 4. Explain the geographical spread of the Harappan civilization. The Harappan civilization spread across a vast region in South Asia, primarily around the Indus River and its tributaries. Key areas include Punjab and Sindh in present-day Pakistan, where major cities like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro were located. Gujarat, sites like Dholavira and Lothal in India. Rajasthan, sites like Kalibangan in India. Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, sites like Rakhigdi in India. This widespread distribution indicates the extensive reach of the Harappan trade networks and their ability to establish and maintain large urban centers across a diverse landscape. 5. What is the significance of Harappan seals? Harappan seals are significant for several reasons. Trade seals were likely used for trade purposes, possibly to mark ownership of goods or as a form of identification. Administration, they may have been used for administrative purposes, such as record keeping. Cultural insight, the images and symbols on the seals provide insights into the animals, beliefs, and possibly the language of the Harappans. Undeciphered script, the script on the seals remains undeciphered, posing a challenge for historians but also highlighting the complexity of the Harappan communication system. 6. How did the Harappans practice agriculture and what were their main crops? Agriculture was the backbone of the Harappan economy. Here's how they practiced it. Crops, the main crops included wheat, barley, peas, sesame, mustard, and cotton. Irrigation, they used advanced irrigation techniques, including wells and canals, to water their fields. Seasonal farming, they timed their sowing and harvesting with the monsoon rains to ensure a good yield. Tools, the use of wooden plows and other farming tools helped them cultivate large areas of land efficiently. 7. Discuss the trade networks and transportation methods used by the Harappan civilization. The Harappan civilization had extensive trade networks and used various methods of transportation. Trade networks, they traded with regions as far away as Mesopotamia, modern Iraq, as evidenced by Harappan seals found there. Exports, items like cotton, beads, pottery, and metal goods were exported. Imports, they imported precious stones, metals, and other luxury goods. Transportation. Bullock carts, used for transporting goods overland. Boats. Evidence suggests the use of boats for river and sea trade, with docks found at sites like Lothal. Standardized weights and measures ensured fair trade practices and consistent exchanges. 8. What evidence suggests the existence of social and political organization in the Harappan cities? Several pieces of evidence suggest a well-organized social and political structure in Harappan cities. City planning. The grid layout of streets and uniform building construction indicate centralized planning and governance. Public buildings, structures like the Great Bath, granaries, and assembly halls suggest organized public life and communal activities. Social stratification, variations in house sizes and burial practices indicate a hierarchical social structure. Administrative records. The presence of seals and tablets points to some form of administrative control. Fortifications. Some cities had walls and fortifications, indicating concerns for security and possibly organized defense mechanisms. 9. What theories explain the decline of the Harappan civilization? There are several theories that explain the decline of the Harappan civilization. Climatic changes. Changes in climate may have led to reduced agricultural productivity and water scarcity. River course shifts. Shifts in the courses of rivers like the Ghaggar might have affected water supply and agricultural activities. Invasions. Some theories suggest invasions by nomadic tribes like the Aryans could have disrupted the civilization. Internal decline. Gradual decline due to overexploitation of resources, social unrest, or economic factors. Disease. Outbreaks of diseases could have led to a decrease in population and weakening of social structures. 10. Describe the significance of major archaeological sites like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Lothal, and Dholavira. Harappa. One of the first discovered sites, giving the civilization its name. Key findings include seals, pottery, tools, and evidence of urban planning. Mohenjo-daro. Known for its advanced urban planning, including the Great Bath, well-planned streets, and drainage system. Important artifacts include seals, tools, and jewelry. Lothal. Famous for its dockyard, suggesting extensive maritime trade. Bead-making industry and storage structures highlight its industrial and commercial significance. Dholavira. Notable for its unique water conservation system, including reservoirs and stepwells. Evidence of advanced urban planning and public architecture. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe this channel and hit the bell icon for new updates.